Imagine turning back the clock to buy Bitcoin cheaper. We can't, but we can reset our strategy, we can start again, and it could actually change everything. So in today's video, we're going to reveal the new plan, we're going to reset the entire motion of the strategy, and we're going to go through the lessons learned of why I've changed it. If you're new around here, please do subscribe, hit that like button and comment. I want to know if you're stacking Bitcoin. I want to know if you're using long-term wealth kind of strategies to enable you to make more Bitcoin a little bit faster than the average Joe and not lose it all in altcoins. Sorry, altcoin holders, but kind of we need to address that elephant in the room. Altcoins have majorly underperformed. Let's be honest, right? Now, that's just the way it is. Past performance doesn't indicate future results. We all know that. And to enable you to basically develop and change your approach a little bit, and I'm going to go through what I've been doing certainly since September and what I'll be doing moving forward, it's pretty exciting to see how I could actually keep my Bitcoin versus, say, randomly punting it onto altcoins, for example. The market's changed, and I know people will disagree with me, but it has changed. Even if we get an alt season and it's a little bit of a flurry, how long will it last? We do not know, and that's the situation we're betting on. I don't like that bet given the last 2 to 3 years. And I know I've made most of my money through altcoins over the course of the last few years at high dominance levels. But I'm going to explain why the market is a little bit different this time and why you probably should be dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin and using that to kind of hopefully stick and keep Satoshis versus just adding Bitcoin units willy-nilly and hoping you're going to make money, which is kind of the big problem why people have lost a lot of money in the last 2 to 3 to 4 5 years, which kind of makes sense. So on the screen is my wallet. If you want to follow along, all the details are in Patreon. I'm doing $250 per week, which is roughly the average of an UK investor, weirdly. Maybe a bit higher, but everyone's different. My dollar cost average might be different to yours. And I know there's going to be someone going, oh, but not the average person can afford that. Fuck off, I don't care. We're talking investors here, right? Not the average Joe. Now, let's be honest. What this does is it removes the volatility, it removes the stress, and your focus is to just accumulate Bitcoin units. Because if you're watching this channel and you're into crypto, you should probably know that Bitcoin's pretty good. It's outperformed the market. So why not dollar cost average into it? Well, that's kind of the question. And then use that pot to then make more monies, basically, right? So that's why we're starting again. So as you can see here, over the course of time, it's been doing very, very well. And as you can see, this big bout here was because I lumped on because the market was cheaper than what it was. Over the course of this time, so I started on the 8th of September, it's been quite a high market. You can see the BTC price there. It's like around 100K for a long time. And I wasn't very comfortable. I said in my Patreon, $120,000, I would stop dollar cost averaging and I'll just keep the USD. I would just keep the USD just piling up. And I'll just keep it as a lump. And then obviously the market then melted. And I started buying around $84,000 when it went to that low point, which makes sense. So remember, you can lump, you can stop. You can weekly just add a trickle. Don't get blown up, basically, right? We'll explain some risks in a minute. Now, what I'm using to do this is Swissborg. This is not a paid plug. It's just annotated there for you to see that I'm doing it. And I have been doing it for a long, long time now. But ultimately, the result over the last 6 months has been pretty good. And I thought, why aren't more people sharing this and talking about this and just doing this? And I think the problem is a lot of people want to get rich quick. But most of the time with wealth, it's all about keeping your money. You don't want to don't want to lose all your money. And I can bet my bottom dollar that most people who have been all in altcoins, unless you bought the select few, you're probably down hard because those alt seasons have just not arrived. Now, if there's any doubt in the room, over the last 2 years, if you did this, you'd be up 77% versus most assets, as you can see on the screen, you're up quite a bit. Even if you did it, say, 3 or 4 years ago during bear markets, you're still outperforming the market. 4 years ago, you're still outperforming the market. Even 6 years ago, when we've had some horrible bouts of volatility, you can see the black line, it's ugly at certain points, but this is why you also need to have a little bit of control. If you think Bitcoin's too expensive, and I'll go through that in a second, or if you think it's really cheap, lump or stop. Simple as that, really. Let me explain why I think Michael Saylor's done this a little bit wrong. So for me, my fundamental opinion is Michael Saylor was a little bit cautious at the lows versus the highs. You can see over the course of like previous markets, it's mental at the tops, down at the lows, not a lot. mental at the tops, not too, you get the idea? It's a bit wild, isn't it, when you think about it? And when we look at moving forward, there's some high levels and then low, peppered up here at 100k, it's going to 2 million, yay! That's the problem. So what you need to do is essentially understand that when the market is cheaper than what it was, lump. When you think it's overvalued and very expensive, maybe just slow down a little bit. That's kind of the whole point of it. You want a dollar cost average, not dollar cost average up. You want a dollar cost average. Now I know it's subjective. Everyone's got an opinion, but you must know when Bitcoin's high value versus low value, right? You've just got to zoom out on the weekly or the monthly time frame and just look. In my opinion, I had $120,000 as my stop. Basically, I was going to stop dollar cost averaging, and I probably will keep that level as well, because I feel that when it goes higher than that, it's not going to kind of move the needle enough, but I can keep that USD. When it goes lower or even into certain low ranges, you can then lump if you want to, if you think it's a good value. But over the course of time, you do not want to buy too high. You want to keep it ticking over, but not get crazy, because you all know when you take a screenshot, it's going to melt, isn't it? And that's what everyone did. Now, when it comes to altcoins in alt season, as you can see, every single influencer in the world just wants to say alt season for engagement to get people in. We have to look at some solid confirmation. Now, this is a total 3/BTC chart. This is basically telling us what the BTC pairs are doing in the total 3. Currently, nowhere near. What if we're going to get a small alt season and it's going to go up to certain levels? Yeah, it may well grow a little bit, but that doesn't mean your altcoin is going to grow. You have to be tactically positioned in something that could go pretty well when everything's flowing the right way. That's quite hard to do, and I've said it before, the market is very much diluted to a very, very low point. There's not enough liquidity, there's too many altcoins, there's not enough kind of interest at the minute. Until that arrives, there's no point trying it. Too many people are looking for bottoms, and then bottoms are not going to come in. So you're probably wondering, what is a long-term vision here? Well, for me, it's to keep wealth. Not so much to like make mega money, it's to keep it and to grow it over time. It takes time to do this, and I want to showcase it. I want to showcase on my YouTube channel that this can be done. And I've already started in September. As you can see, you've already seen all the data. And the situation here is, well, too many people get wrecked very, very quickly by trying to get rich quick. No one talks about the simple strategy of doing it slowly, accumulating wealth, and then seeing it mature over time. If you are bullish on crypto, you should be bullish on Bitcoin. If you are looking at Bitcoin price targets, even at $200,000, $300,000, and you are able to buy at a much better price, and therefore then selling some for profit and rebuying back low, manage it. Manage this portfolio like a little baby. You want it to grow, you want it to be fed, you want it to be nurtured, and I feel no one's talking about that enough. And if you want to learn more about my opinion of why I think altcoins are dead, check out this video.